Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quickie. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Want to give it a try? Bet you won't.
Yeah, but you could be better about your wording, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah. Are you serious? Even then, you could use better ways and methods to educate somebody who's probably not aware of that information. You understand? And furthermore, no, it ain't about spreading lies. Like, oh, you're a liar. Like, I'm just picking up. Maybe I don't know. You understand? But for you to try to use and hurl insults, that's not cool.
Oh, you want to get insulted? What's choke you on the street? Isn't that an insult? Isn't shoot you 5 times in the back an insult? Isn't kill you in your car while you're sitting with your empress and your child in the back? Isn't pull you out the car, arrest you, hang you in your cell? Isn't that an insult? How come you're not questioning them? Isn't the fact that George Zimmerman's still alive, isn't that an insult? Oh, but you're not gonna go there. You're not gonna have those conversations. You're gonna come on stereo, on Kudjo's stereo, where I do what I want here. You're not telling me how to talk to people on my own thing. What are you talking about? This is not some Moorish thing you're coming on that you could bring your frivolous opinions, your opinionated BS, and your emotional BS over here. Because I'm not. Only individual I have to honor are the people who brought me to this planet. So good try though, with all that groveling BS you're trying to pull. Good try, but it's not working over here. Don't think this is these other platforms where you're gonna be getting to say your little whatever you think about Moors. If you're not riding with Moors, FOH, you don't need to be here. If you don't care about Moors and Moors doesn't mean anything to you, then why are you here? Trying to prove to us that we're not Moors. We're never gonna say that we're not Moors. You can come out and say Noble Drew Ali's a faggot, he's a pedophile, we're still gonna be Moors. You could say that the Moors took Europeans in the cave and they had anal sex with them, we're still going to be Moors. You could say the Moors took sheep over there and had bestiality with sheep and cows and goats because the Moors were the first herders of animals and all they did was sleep with their goats and impregnate their goats and all that stuff. We're still going to be Moors. We don't care what you say. We're going to be Moors. That's just where we're at. I don't know where you're at. But where we're at is that we're Moors. And you're not going to say anything to make me not be a Moor. I don't care what you think you know about Moors. Nothing that you say is going to make me say I'm not a Moor. I'm going to go back to being African and black and or whatever, all that BS. Ha! 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 Who you think you are?
So, my opinion that you have a lot of people that this land basically belongs to them. When Noble Drew Ali was trying to take every dark-skinned person and send them to Africa. So, you do a lot of research on him.
No, let me tell you there, don't lie, because this is Noble Drew Ali's words right here. Right? This is Noble Drew Ali's words. Right? This is Noble Drew Ali's words. Just keep in mind that this is Noble Drew Ali's words. It is most earnestly hoped that the Moorish Science Temple of America, which was founded by Noble Drew Ali, will not in any way be confused with any back to Africa movement. What's that mean? We didn't come from Africa. So whoever lied to you and told you that Noble Drew Ali was trying to get us to go back to Africa, they're a liar. That's not what Noble Drew Ali said. That's not what Noble Drew Ali intended. And that's not what Noble Drew Ali's message was. And whoever told you that is a liar. Because I'm a Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I know whoever told you that's a liar, or wherever you got that from, is a liar. Because Noble Drew Ali taught that we're the Aboriginal indigenous people of this land. He taught that we were on this side. We didn't come over here on slave ships as a nigger. Because a nigger is a slave brand. And we were never slaves. Ever. Ever were Moors slaves. Moors were always masters. Go check the records. Even the black guys blame Moors for slavery. So we were never, ever, 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 ever slave to anybody. And Noble Drew Ali knew this. And remember, he was Cherokee. Remember, keep in mind that he was Cherokee. You know when they say about the Cherokee prophets? And they tell you about all these European-looking people and they never show you Noble Drew Ali? You ever ask yourself why? How come they never told you about the Cherokee prophet, Noble Drew Ali? How come they tell you about all the other Cherokee prophets? But they don't tell you about the Cherokee prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Why? Because he looked like a black guy. And if he looks like a black guy, and he starts going around that he's the prophet and telling these people that this is their land and they're not foreigners here and they never came here on slave ship, what do you think is going to happen? All these people are going to nationalize and take their stuff back. Which is what they did in Cuba. Which is what they did in Venezuela. Kicked out the Europeans and took their stuff back. Where do Europeans go? Up to America. Let's go to the north part, see what we could do here with these people who look just like the people from Mexico and Brazil and Bolivia and all that stuff. We look just like them. Let's see if we could trick these people to be black instead of, because those people down there, they're not having it. They want to stick to their own language and all that stuff. They're not playing that. And here we are today, like the slaves that they've turned us into. Just like the slaves they turned us into, don't want to be Moors, but will be everything else.
Yeah, they are not Moors, man. You're not finna tell me about indigenous culture as an indigenous person.
What you mean? I bet you if I tell you, go in your pocket right now and pull out ID, and if it's indigenous ID, it's going to say you're Indian on there. This is not India. This is not India. And Santa Claus doesn't have a sled and flying through the sky. And Tooth Fairy is not going to leave finance under the pillow when you leave the tooth there. You play your little dumb nigger games with the nigger-minded people. We're Moors. We are not the same, even though we might look the same. We're not the same. Because guarantee you, the Aboriginal indigenous people are Moors. Look up BC. Look up BC, Ontario. BC, Canada. British Columbia, Canada. Squamish Nation Welcome Totem. Squamish Nation Welcome Totem. British Columbia, Canada. Why is that totem wearing a fez? Because indigenous people aren't Moors? That's in BC. Indigenous people aren't Moors, but Welcome Totem has a fez on. And that's Indian. That's First Nations. That's Algonquin and Iroquois, but they're not Moors. But they're dark skinned, but they're not Moors. They're black, but they're not Moors. Alright. Keep playing dumb. You're only playing dumb with yourself, not Moors.
I say, also for me, my debate is to alter my opinion, like your facts. like shit, I ain't gonna get nowhere in understanding if I'm more or not if I don't question shit. But this is real constructive for me. I'm gonna ask you constructive questions because to me it's gonna resonate to me. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I need to know. I'm a spiritual person, and I'm into all facets of spirit, and I probably would identify myself as most of the other brother was asking me if I'm Caucasian or whatever. I'll consider myself a Moor, and is that wrong to just self-identify myself as a human being to be Moor, or is there like is dark skin the qualifier? Is that it? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, what's the opposite of the Moor? You know?
Right. So again, when we say dark, purple is dark. Hunter green is dark. Burgundy is dark. Not just brown or whatever. Relative to people, we can go back into the hieroglyphs and see that they had green people on the walls of Kemet. People who were actually green. Whatever it means, we weren't there, but we know on that hieroglyph right there, there's a green man, and next to him, there's a dark man. So obviously, whoever made this hieroglyph was looking at somebody green when they made this thing. Nobody calls Asar green. No one calls him green. No one says Vishnu's blue. You know the blue man? Oh yeah, the blue man. And then that means they're talking about Vishnu. No, that's not what it means. You say Vishnu. You already know what's up. So for you to say, well, I mean, if I was going to call myself, I'll call myself a Moor. Exactly. That's the mindset right there. That's it. That's it. Now, however you live your life would be based on your moral character, which is something that you come out the womb with. You don't see children involved in racism and, oh, you're a nigger and all that stuff. Children don't care. He got the toys. I'm going to play with him. I'm going to play with her. Oh, don't play with them. Those the black guys, those little children, they rob children's stores. And those little black children, all they do is sell children drugs. And you see the children on the corner over there, and they got the hood on. Those black children are the criminal children. Please. Children looking at you like you're a dumbass, talking like that. Like, what do you mean I can't play with them because they don't look like me? What do you mean? But she's nice, Mom. Like, why can't I go play with her? No, you can't play with them because they're the devil and all this talking crazy. The hell out of here. Messing up children's lives.
Hey, this is Smacks.
Yes, bro. Kudjo is serious, bro. We ain't got time to be nice. We ain't trying to deliver the information nice. Like, we just need information right now, innit?
Exactly.
Kudjo's delivery's needed. Kudjo's that guy where, like, you know when you need everybody don't want a yes man. You know what I mean? But then when someone like Kudjo comes along, everybody got problems. You know what I mean? With his delivery. You know what I mean? Malik El Shabazz, that they keep calling Malcolm X. You know what I mean? He was raw in his delivery, and we appreciate him now when he's dead or after he got murdered. Same with Khalid Muhammad. We told everybody that he's got sense enough to know he's a Moor. We love him, but we don't want to honor that fact. Same like everybody claims to love Dr. Ben, but Dr. Ben told you we was calling ourselves Moors. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, man. We ain't got time to be nitpicking in some emotional bitchism talking about a man's delivery. Did you get the message or you didn't? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Kudjo, man, you done know. Keep blaze the fire, man, car. That's what it is. Yeah, it's long.
There's a lot more, you already know. And we're not even going to go as far as Khalid and whatever. Let's use right now Kwame Brown cussing them out with their mama's cooking. Go along, get along, gang. Cussing all of them out. Why? Because they can't sanction him. He's free. How is he free? He's Aboriginal and Indigenous. He took his finance that he got from whatever he was doing, and he stayed himself. He still farms, still has a tractor, still goes shoots guns and all that stuff because he's a country boy. And the country boys never forget the roots. It's the city boys who turn the sellout. It's the people who choose the establishment that are the sellouts, not the ones against it. Look at Kwame Brown right now, cussing them all out. Everybody who's your favorite, whatever, that you were backing for the past 10 years, he's cussing all of them out. And now you're taking some in the middle position or whatever. You better ride with Kwame Brown. What are you talking about? How are you riding with anybody else? He's independent. He went in, cashed out. And now he's telling all the goods. All you Jordan's people talking to y'all. All y'all people calling you out. All you LBJers. How you talking about Chicago Bulls and building a statue and all that stuff for Jordan or whatever, and Craig Hodges went to the White House in a dashiki while all these niggers have suits on? With his white fez too? Why is Craig Hodges going to the White House in a dashiki and a white fez on? And he doesn't get a statue. But the guy who's telling you he can do like Stephon Marbury and charge you $5 for his shoe. The billions that he's got now, shoes could be $5. And that money's gonna keep multiplying and growing or whatever like that, and he's not gonna be losing. Jordans could be $5. They don't have to be 500. But nah, I don't talk about that. Calling out Charlemagne, all you people's boy who used to watch Donkey of the Day, when the real donkey is Charlemagne, pedophile, rapist. But you say nothing, right? You're riding with Kwame Brown, but Kudjo starts talking, and now everybody wants to talk about tones and all this. Your tone shouldn't be like that because we just got out of slavery, and you're not supposed to be talking mean to us. Why are you talking so harshly to us? You should get 4 more slaps, just for that. Just for that. Just like back in the day you used to get. But you guys don't know about that stuff. All you guys know is go to your room. You guys don't know discipline. You go to your room. You're in the room with the PlayStation for 2 weeks. You're grounded. Well, grounded, you got a PlayStation in the room. You got an Xbox. What grounded is that? You know, how come all these people are sissies today? Punks. Have no honors. Have no standards. They don't live by any standards. Even the drug dealers back in the day lived by standards. There was even a code of the streets back in the day. Not gonna shoot because you see me in public and there's people around. You're just gonna be shooting. What are you talking about? That's not normal behavior. Cameras everywhere. You're just pulling out the AK and just shooting. You lost your mind.
Hey, yo. First of all, it's not about insults. It's really not about insults. What some people do, like myself, and maybe not to the extreme point, will tell you when you wrong and when you messing up. And it's not about me caring about your opinion or your feelings. It's where I have studied enough
where I can feel like, well, I'm on this level and I stand for this, so I'm gonna speak on that. And when I am wrong, I'm gonna get somebody who knows how to speak it better and knows the information better. But what don't change is the information. That never changes. What tends to go from up and down and left and right is people's feelings and emotions about what another person is saying. If a person is giving you real, factual information, it doesn't matter what and how they're saying it to you for your emotions and your feelings to feel some type of way. It's about the knowledge in which you seek and you should find and you should go forth for. So if I'm being aggressive in the knowledge, then that means I'm aggressive with the knowledge. Go look at it. Will never say I'm not a Moor. And anybody around me who knows what I'm on, I'm going to tell them they're Moor. And if they don't know exactly why they're Moor, then it's on me to make sure they understand the information so they know they're Moor. Because I ain't with none of this bullshit.
First feds are Turkish, and my family is Moors. And all of them come from the islands. And my grandfather was a Moor from Jamaica. From the islands. And the history of the Moors, they were sent over there to take mongoose to get rid of the snakes. And this is from my ancestors telling me. And they did drop for a minute. White man stopped respecting them. They wasn't under slavery, but they did start getting treated pretty bad. That's how they ended up over there in Jamaica. So I know real Moors. And you know, physically, they got a physical makeup.
Right? Simple as that. Why? The same way that the Moors in Zanzibar or whatever like that are taming hyenas and all this type of stuff is the same stuff that the Moors from wherever were the mongoose catchers. And everybody knows mongoose is going to murder snakes. Snakes don't stand a chance around mongoose. Took the Moors, who were just like Christopher Columbus took the Moors who knew how to navigate ships. Right? These other Europeans took the Moors who were the mongoose catchers because this island that we got over here, there's snakes everywhere. How are we going to get rid of the snakes? Oh, just call the Moors. They got the snake catchers. Snake catchers? What the hell is that? No, this little furry thing and all that stuff. And, you know what I mean? They let them go and then they come back to them after. Alright. Call them in then. There's no Moors helping Europeans to enslave the black people and this fiction that people are telling you. That's a fiction. The Moors were the custodians of the ancient knowledge. They knew everything. So everybody's going to go to the Moors for whatever they want. You want salt? You're going to go to the Moors. You want pepper? You're going to go to the Moors. You want a camel? You go to the Moors. You want a boat? Go to the Moors. You want some health stuff? Go to the Moors. You want some meditation classes or whatever? You go to the Moors. You want some spirituality? Go to the Moors. Some religion? Go to the Moors. Some language? Irrigation? You want some air conditioning? You want some soap to use? Guess who you're going to go to? You're going to go to the Moors. Who are the Moors? Any dark-skinned people. It's that simple. This stuff is not advanced. Our people make it advanced for no reason.
Yo, I've heard this clothing item talk, and, you know, just because it's a similarity in, you know, the cloth or whatever, by the way, my people don't even wear the little feather thing, so that's out the window. Let's talk about how Moresh talk about how they derive from Moabites, you know what I'm saying, which is an ethnic people, which have nothing to do with my people over here.
Now again, just so we're clear, a Moor is any dark-skinned person. So I don't care if you're an Israelite, you're a Moor. You're a Rastafarian, you're a Moor. You're a chematologist, you're a Moor. You're Pan-African, you're a Moor. You're Garveyite, you're a Moor. Your Nation of Islam, you're a Moor. Your Nation of Gods of Earth, you're a Moor. You're conscious, Moor. You're woke, you're a Moor. Any dark-skinned person, any. I don't care what type of religions you bring up. I don't care what type of clothes you bring up. I don't care what you bring up. If they have dark skin under all those clothes and under all those whatever else that you're clothing them with, they're a Moor. It's that simple. It's not advanced. It's that simple. It's just that simple. People want to debate, they can debate. We're gonna keep putting the hook around your neck and dragging you back to the point that all dark-skinned people, any dark-skinned people, are Moors. I don't care what they call themselves when the Moors weren't around. When the Moors weren't there, they called themselves Jijiva. The Jijiva are Moors if they're dark-skinned. That's just what it is.
It sounds like he want to find out how to be a Moor. So I'll tell you after he tell you. You was already born a Moor. Everybody in the world was born a Moor. See, the difference between people being known that they're Moors and people being born to be Moors is the simple fact that as a Moor, for us black and African American people who don't know exactly about themselves and their nationality, it gives them their own self-right back. So now they get to govern themselves as a people. That's the difference between blacks and African Americans over here.
Phone's hot. Phone's hot.
I'm glad you're talking about Egypt and ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet and stuff like that. I don't know none of this shit. So, did they identify themselves as Moors? Did the pharaohs from before identify themselves? I mean, it could be a completely ignorant question because I don't know. So, if you can enlighten me, so this ignorance can fly off, I'd like to know. At the same time, I'm doing a lot of fact checking. I'm doing a lot of Googling. And Google is written by non-Moors. I don't know if it's biased. Should I take Google's perspective as facts? Or any reference that you send me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Like, I'm trying to identify what happened before the Moors. What were the Moors before the Moors? I'm reading things about the Berbers. And every facet of thing that I find on Google relates Moors to Islam and Muslims. Everything. I don't see anything outside of Muslim for Moors. And truth, love, all that stuff is there.
So if we want to know about plumbing, who you gonna talk to? If you want to know about flying, who you gonna talk to? If you want to know about Moors, who should you talk to? So in the beginning we put it out, we'll just put it out again. If you want to know more about what we're talking about and how it applies, we suggest you go to rvbaypublications.com, because rvbaypublications.com is a Google search engine but for Moorish information relative to you, so that you don't have that quote-unquote bias. Not that we don't use Google and whatever, but we also use discernment, because we know that everything that's put out there, especially on the World Wide Web, isn't factual like that. That's why Moors have libraries, because a book is more factual than a website, because that's tangible. And it has a copyright time on it, so you know that it's been around for a certain amount of time. So that gives it its credibility, because it's been around. So I'll go with the book that says, you know, whatever copyrighted in the 1800s. Then I'll go with the website talking about some ancient stuff, and I don't even know when that started. So it could be started yesterday. I definitely know it wasn't around the 1800s. So their reference points might be skewed. Right?
How up, Islam, my brother. Honest to your family. realization that 90% of our people are choosing and siding the very system they seemingly appear to be complaining about as sellouts, as the very thing that they're claiming to be against. They're providing the energy to uphold it and support it. Very interesting day. Love you, brother. Let's grow, family. We are growing.
Definitely are growing.
Islam.
We definitely are growing. That's a fact.
J.A. Rogers, 100 amazing facts about the Negro with complete proof. Kudjo L, 77 amazing facts about the Moor with complete proof. When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Those are some, you know what I mean? Them ones you can get those quite simple and make sense of that. You got J.A. Rogers as well, Nature Knows No Colorland. Take the basics and go check the references. And go put your hand on the same reference points that they had. You know what I mean? And peep the info.
Greetings, Noble. I just wanted to appreciate this dialogue that you're having with the people. I heard a guy that actually tapped in that said that the Cherokee or the indigenous people he's in wish.
Let's try that one again.
Noble. I just wanted to appreciate this dialogue that you're having with the people. I heard a guy that actually tapped in that said that the Cherokee or the indigenous people, he's indigenous and that he's not a Moor, that Moors is not indigenous. And that's so far from being the truth. My search of Cherokee, like Noble Jew Ali is a Cherokee. I am a Cherokee. My tribe is the Seminole tribe. I had to trace my tribe all the way back from the Seminole back to the Wichita tribe, which is Moors. They are Moors. We are Moors, indigenous. We are Moors.
All across the planet.
I actually had this type of dialogue with Dr. Bay, and I was explaining my story to Dr. Bay, sitting down with a chief here. I live in Texas, and I was talking to the chief in Oklahoma, which is where the Wichita Mountains are, which is our people land, mountains. It's amazing when you search out history or we search out our story that we can find a big difference when we're searching out, going deeper. I had to go deeper. Looked at the Cherokee ID, and what was the Cherokee ID? It's a straw man, all capital letters. As Moors or as nationals, there's no cap, meaning there's no government involvement.
And that's someone Cherokee. So someone Cherokee, right? One day said, hold on a second, I listen to these Moors and they're talking about straw men and all this stuff. Let me just check my Cherokee ID. And then they pull out their Cherokee ID, which is supposed to be their indigenous stuff that they got from their chiefs or whatever to prove that who they are to these Europeans or whatever. And they realize that, hold on a second, my Cherokee name is written in all capital letters, which is a straw man. Oh snap, they denationalized me. Oh snap, that's why we live on the reserve and all the chiefs live in the mansions with the 5-car garage. Oh snap, that's why when we have the powwow, he always pulls up in the Beamer and the Bentley. But he's supposed to be Cherokee chief. Oh snap, that's why they have casinos. But nothing goes back to the indigenous population. Everything goes into the pocket of these chiefs who are with the politicians and the pastors and all these other people who are sellouts. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go look into this guy, Noble Drew Ali, because he's Cherokee, and I don't see none of his stuff that he's talking about. He's writing in all capital letters. Let me go check that stuff out, see what's going on with that. And guess what they found out? That even the indigenous people have been played. Matter of fact, they've been played the same game that the Negroes get played with the black nigger leaders. Now it's the Indian nigger leaders. Working with the European to keep you in subjugation. And this is what's been going on. Because it ain't the enemy. The real enemy is your own people. The real enemy is your own people who's going to come on here and try to convince you that you're not Moors. Those are the enemy. Don't worry about some European KKK and all that stuff. They have more honors than these people that we call black, Negro, colored, African leaders. I'm going to go meet with the KKK before a black leader. Just like El Haj did. Just like Garvey did. Just like Drew Ali did. Why? Because they have honor. They will tell you nigger to your face. I could respect that. I could respect a skinhead wanting to fight. I could respect that. But I'm not Negro, black, colored. So all that race BS that you're trying, don't even go there. Matter of fact, skinhead's not even going to look in my direction if he sees me with fez on or turban. You're looking at Moors. I'm trying to find some dumb nigger to go take advantage of.
It's 1957. You're talking about like the Moors or the custodians and people go to the Moors for everything, obviously. That's right. Given that. So I'm asking, who is going to the Moors? Who's asking these questions? Who's inquiring? And then the responses go to the Moors. Is the person that's saying go to the Moors more themselves? Or is the person that's inquiring a Moor? Like, it's as if, like, I just want to know, like, would it be the Europeans? You said Christopher Columbus had some fine sailors that know how to navigate. And it'd be like, how did the Moors get to Spain for Christopher Columbus to take them? Or along those lines. But it's weird, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand. I'm really trying to understand because I'm trying to understand how far back did we right now can identify Moors as dark skinned, but the individuals who were in, not Africa, European.
Oh, thanks for bringing it back. Thanks for bringing it back. So, how far back does the Moor thing go? And then you were talking about Moabites and Moors coming from Moabites or whatever, right? E. Wallace Budge put out a book called The Hieroglyphic Dictionary. And the Hieroglyphic Dictionary, under the section of M, had the word there, M-A-U-R. What's M-A-U-R spell? What does that sound like? So M-A-U-R is in the Hieroglyphics Dictionary. M-A-U-R is in the Hieroglyphics Dictionary, which means ancient Egypt, because hieroglyphs is that's ancient Egyptian culture, right? So if Moor is in the hieroglyphics of ancient Egypt, that says a lot as to how far they go back to. But hieroglyphics were created by people. So there had to be someone around that was a Moor for them to have the definition of Moor in hieroglyphs. There had to be a people. When you check the definition of Moor, the Moors were actually the high priests. So if Moors were the high priests in ancient Kemet, wouldn't that mean that they would be the high priests anywhere else? And remember, this is ancient Egyptians that we're talking about. We're not talking about Europeans. Well, you said Egypt, so that means Greek. Okay, we're talking about Kemetans. We're talking about Nubians. We're talking about all the ancient people from the east of the continent. Northeast. So if their high priests were known as Moors, how come none of the Kemetic people ever brought that up to you? How come none of the Egyptologists never brought that up to you? How come they tell you all this other stuff, but they never told you that, oh yeah, the high priests of Egypt, oh yeah, they were called Moors. M-A-U-R. Which is pronounced more. M-A-U-R. Not M-O-O-R. Not M-O-R-E. Not M-O-R. M-A-U-R. More. Not Mauer. More. In hieroglyphs. If you need more than that to be convinced, then I don't know what to tell you.
So, I don't know where that brother's at, but I'm in America. And me as a Moor, and even the sleepy Moors, and the waking Moors, and the full-fledged already know everything about, gonna teach everybody else below them Moors. I don't know what he's talking about. If Moors are all dark-skinned people, then I don't know, bro. Maybe you just don't like the fact that Moors is anything. Like maybe you prescribe to Black and African American. But since I don't know, man. It's hard to want to have a conversation with somebody who wants to give up different things. So I mean, peace. If Moors are around, beloved, and they're respected by the law, I would just like to know where the Indians are respected, because I understand their treaty, and they were slaves too.
Straight.
But because the Cherokee is still enslaved, mentally and in bondage, physically, even to this day, even after speaking to this chief in Oklahoma, and he agreed that they still is being governed by the United States as Cherokee.
Yep.
So it's very important. And this is Kudjo. So I salute you, Noble, for what you are saying. And I am in agreement with you. As Cherokees or indigenous people, we must rise up to the knowledge of truth. Seek these out for yourself. And Kudjo is actually saying what is truth.
Islam, mother. And she's Cherokee. Why is she saying Islam if well, she's Cherokee, and then you're not seeing that there's a connection? Why did you say Islam? Why didn't you say some Cherokee greeting? Oh, because it's the same people. You never say hi, how you doing, or you say assalamu alaikum. You're talking to your brother. Or you say peace or hotep or whatever like that. You're talking to your brother or your sister. How is it different? I don't speak Egyptian. Somebody come to me and say hotep, I at least know, well, okay, well that means peace. So, hotep back to you. Okay, no big deal. Making big deals out of stuff.
Moab, Utah, bro. You get me? All the Egyptian tombs and temples in North America and the far west coast is older than any Kemetic shit in East Africa. Do the math. Yeah, so what kind of, and Kudjo just told you, more means any dark-skinned person. When you go in those tombs, you see the pictures of dark-skinned people. So what we talking about here now? And also, we didn't use vowels in our linguistics. So when you take all the consonants letters and remove the two vowels in Moab, you get M and B, just like you would get M and R. And M and R, they use in English as an abbreviation for Mister, which is master, and the masters were Moors. Anu, Anubis, the god of the dead. We have power of life and death. Ain't that your ancestors? The same ones that black people keep saying are the first and the oldest people in the world. Do the math, bro.
Do the math, do the science, do the geography, whatever.
Eightborn, peace, bro. Check this. Start with your understanding of words. Yeah, even if you want to go to the Bible, because the Bible's only talk is some watered down, mixed up madness of our history and par excellence anyway, right? So check this. In the beginning was the word. Forget the fact that the word was God. What do you understand about the words that you use? Because those words will rule you as God. Or you will use those words to rule as God, which is why our ancestors had the power of authority to rule as God. So, you know what I'm saying? What do you understand about the words? Start from there. And then go and do your history in the background and how words have changed from in the ancient past, you know, from ancient into modern modern. And then it's mathematics, bro. It's all an algebra equation. An algebra, you know what I mean, is one of our shit anyway. So, you know what I mean, just keep it mathematical. No feelings, no emotions, no opinions.
No feelings, no emotions, no opinions. Now keep that in mind when you get around Moors who study. No feelings, no emotions, and no opinions. If you're presenting anything and it's based in feelings, emotions, or opinions, don't present it. Bite your tongue.
Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of truth, peace, justice, freedom. Hey, listen, bro. If I wanted to be a Moor, I would subscribe to it. There's a reason why I don't, because it's ethnic washing. You know what I'm saying? And I have documentation, especially the documentation referring to the 1621, where they swiped out the word Indian for Moor, is more proof than ever why I shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And I say that in all due respect, because I respect the noble brother Drew Ali and what he's done. It's just the people after him, the people like y'all per se, that don't carry on his work or do shit.
How don't we carry on his work when we're on here talking about him? How don't we carry on his work? How don't we carry on his work when we're on here saying that we're Moors, we're not Negro, black, colored, just like he taught? How? And again, any dark-skinned person is a Moor. So for you to talk this BS, well, I used to be a Moor, and I'm not a Moor now, because when I did my researching, I found out that the Moors are full of shit. And if, like we said, even if the Moors fucked sheep and dogs in ancient history, you're still a Moor today. Don't tell me two Moors did something crazy, so that means you're not a Moor. Oh yeah, two Chinese people killed some more Chinese people, so we're not Chinese, we're yellow Asians over here. We're yellow Asians over here because those Chinese people over there, they do evil stuff, so we're not Chinese, we're yellow people. That's how dumb you people sound. Dumb just like that. That's how dumb you sound.
Well, family. Put it simply, family. If you could bow your head, look down your chest, and if you see a button or a dot or a spot where you had an umbilical cord that you were tethered to your mother, then you're a Moor. And there are only two versions of Moors. Those indigenous, aboriginal Asiatics, and those drawn out Albions. If you have a belly button, you are a Moor.
Right? And that's even going past the every dark skin. That's going into other realms. That now, okay, so let's forget the black. Okay, fine, we're black. You have a belly button? Look in the mirror. Are you black? Yeah, I'm black. I'm not a Moor because I'm not dark skin, I'm black skin. You got a belly button? Yeah, you're a Moor. Nah, I don't have a belly button. What do you mean you don't have a belly button? Stop lying.
The best places to actually tap into via internet is one site, like you just mentioned, CMBay's website is very informative. Clock of Destiny website is very informative. As far as search engines, DuckDuckGo is very informative, connecting one to the archives of these particular liturgies or literature that we are in search of. Brave Search Engine is another search engine that is very good for searching out the scholarly in which where journalists and authors get their information from when they're tallying up all this data. Also, if you're going to do Google, then do Google Scholar, because those are archive reports.
Honors to everybody who's calling in, leaving their bubbles. Everybody who's gonna listen to this. Peace and love.
Crazy how the same people that led us into bondage, right? Are afraid to lead us out right now. And I hear y'all on the information tip, because that information, yeah, it does stay the same. But what about the secrets behind the information that's uncovered?
Drawley took away all the secrets.
And the autonomous information that's being translated by your own to people like me. Yeah. I'm not trying to get nobody to unsubscribe. Do your thing. Be a strong black man. If it makes you
No, I'm not
strong.
black. What do you mean be a strong black man? We're not
Just
black.
remember overall,
What do you mean
knowledge
be
is
a
power.
strong black man? We're not black people. You've been saying that from the jump. We're not black. And then you're gonna come on here. Well, you know, I'm not telling you not to be a Moor. You be a strong black man if you want to. No, that's placation. Stop the BS. Don't placate. Why are you still on here? If you're so not trying to get us to unsubscribe, why are you even pushing the thing and making comments? You know what I mean? Why am I going to the gay bar if I'm not a gay guy? Why am I going to the tranny bar? Let's go. I like drinking so much, I'm just going to go to the tranny bar. I'm not a tranny. And then I'm in the gay bar arguing with them why they're kissing and whatever. You shouldn't be dancing with a man and all this stuff. Like, what are you doing? This is Sodom and Gomorrah in here. Well, you're at a gay bar. What the hell you want? But they shouldn't be doing this because this is the gay bars and people supposed to be able to walk off the street and come in here and not be subjected to... The hell out of here. Those gays will fuck you up and kick you out the bar too. Talking crazy.
And then the sister earlier, no offense, but the Wichita is a fake tribe. You can look up all the lawsuits and the frauds that they got on their head. It's up like 250 mil or something like that right now. So, you know, there's a lot of fake tribes, I should say, that mean nothing. You know, it's just paperwork, just to steal land, just to steal money, just to steal resources.
You need a fruit or something. You need a life or something. Talking crazy. Everything that the mother said was right and exact. Everybody knows Wichita's a place. That's not a tribe. Wichita's a place. And if you're going to talk about Wichita, you really mean Washita. Because the two things, the people and the place being named the same thing, the people and the place being named the same thing, place has superior jurisdiction. Because the place had to be there before the people got there. So those people who they call Wichita are actually Moors, is the point that the mother was making. Not the tribal name, because she mentioned the tribal name. Because she mentioned Cherokee, that means she's talking from the Cherokee perspective. No, she's not. She's a Moor. She already checked the Cherokee ID and it said all caps. So she can't be Cherokee, because that's a fiction. Cherokee's made up. Just like all the other Indian stuff is made up. And all these Indians, black Indians, whatever they want to call themselves, Turtle Islanders, all of them are Moors.
Brother 8 to born 11, you're saying the same thing that Brother Kudjo have been saying to you. You're more, and because you don't know that you're more, you're asking other more, who is the Moors? You know, the question is that Brother Kudjo, everybody's saying the same thing, but you need to go some studying about the Moors, and then you probably could come up and have a conversation, because we had the same conversation yesterday. Brother Kudjo was on my radio station, and the same thing our people coming to debate who are the Moors when we are telling you who we are. It's just like you going to a Chinaman and telling him that he's not Chinese. You go into a Jew man and tell him not a Jew. You go into an Indian man and tell him not Indian. You know, why are our people like this when they see someone that look like us, and because we're not repping what they're saying, they're questioning why we're not repping what they're saying, and instead of finding information, why are we saying that if it can benefit them?
Right.
So brother, you need to go and do some study and research, alright?
Exactly.
You're more asking Moors, who are Moors? That's exactly what we're saying.
Right, and then the Moors are telling you that we are the Moors, not some ancient people 500 years ago. Us right now on this thing, we're the Moors. Yeah, but what about the ancient people? That's us. We're just here now. We're now in this time, and we're misclassified as Negro, Black, Colored, African, West Indian, whatever else they want to call us. Especially the ones near the UK, the islands, and the mainland North America, which includes Canada. They're the most lost out here.
MAUR more, like Kudjo L is explaining, it means the high priest of Anu. And this is Egyptian, like what he's saying. It's important to actually search these out, Moors. It's important because Kudjo is on point with this information. The teachings of Ptah Hotep. Search that out and you'll be able to see that even in Egypt, the high priest of Anu are Moors. MAUR. Just like he said, were we getting the MOOR or the MUUR? Yes, Kudjo. Wow.
Come on, get it right, bro. It's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Come on, man. You gotta get the order right, bro. You know what I mean? You can't be remixing.
I was thinking it too. I was thinking it. Glad somebody said it.
And also, he was speaking to where people was at mentally. Not that Juali never knew that because he was a mathematician. You know, he had sublime understanding. Precise, specific, and very sublime understanding. Yeah, but check this. Notice how Father has hurt in him. And Allah is a feminine name.
Hey, yo, be real, Kudjo. That's why I don't like talking to people like that. I swear that's why I don't like talking to people like that. Do you know why? If he's in America, he gonna have a Social Security card.
Right.
He gonna have a birth certificate.
Yep.
He gonna still have the nigga ID that the master gave him.
Yep.
He gonna still have that. So you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'd rather learn something that's new that's gonna help me out and see what's gonna happen. And for the 30 years that I've been alive, just stop watching black people die. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. That's why I don't take it no hard way. I'm cool with you being a slave. I know my family who listening ain't gonna be fucking doing that.
Straight.
And I messed up, because I ain't mean to be cursing all that. But I meant that
Oh,
with
you
all
straight.
due
This is
respect,
our platform.
This shit
Don't
gets
worry.
passionate.
Yeah, cuss them out, yo. You
I
can't
don't
hear.
want to seem
Don't worry.
aggressive, because I'm always looked at as aggressive.
Because they're gonna ride with Kwame Brown all the way. As soon as Moore says ass or something, people get all up in arms. Oh my God, you can't do that. The children are listening, but they got them listening to Kwame Brown or whatever, cussing these people out. The hell out of here.
Shout out Dr. Bay. Yeah. Islam. Thank you, Dr. Ben. Payao. Islam.
Yep.
So I got a quick question. Respect to, finding out, trying to find out, dig into the history of, where you come from or as a whole, as a people. But in light, with all this information, what do the Moors prepare, or what do they do in preparedness to better the Moors as a people, or to lead the Moors? So y'all say, as a people, the thinking or the way of living, are y'all just out here blowing hot air, or are y'all actually moving for something better? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a Moor or whatever you are, whatever background you come from, because we all have the same.
So the Moors are any dark-skinned people. So if you see dark-skinned people getting shot up in the street by police, those are Moors. They're just unconscious that they're Moors, which is why they're going through those situations. And it matters what you call yourself, because we don't see anybody else calling themselves a color, hence they're not getting murdered in the street. And even if they call themselves Asian, they just got stuff passed because of violence against them. They just started getting violence yesterday. How come black people never not got nothing yet? They never passed no bill for these police to stop murdering black people yet? You don't think something's wrong here? Obviously something's wrong here. Because if these people just came yesterday and they just started getting violence against them yesterday, and they're going to pass a bill to protect them so they don't get their ass kicked. But black people been in this country 400 years marching and picketing, complaining about abuses, and not one bill passed in their favor to stop these abuses against them. You have to stop looking at other people and start looking at ourselves. And that's what we do as Moors. We look to ourselves. So this whole thing about, what are the Moors doing to stop the plight of the black people? No, Moors don't do nothing for black people. Moors can't do anything for black people, just like no one else in the world could do anything for black people. That's why nothing's been done for them. Because black does not mean human beings. Black means things, objects, property. And if you want to be somebody's chair, don't get mad when you're sit on. Don't get mad. You want to be a chair. You're justifying being a chair. So then get sit on, get stood on, get not cared about, get painted, get varnished, get dyed. They don't care. Get burnt, throw you in the fire. It doesn't matter. You're a chair. You're cardboard. No, you care what you do with cardboard. Put a zip tie around the stuff, throw it in the back of the truck. Let's go. Where you put in the cardboard in the stroller and bring out a baby bottle to feed a cardboard box. And then somebody kicked the box and you're mad. Oh, my baby, you can't do that to my babies. That's violence against children. And then you're hugging the box to your breast and all that stuff. Are you dumb? You must be dumb.
And the priesthood is dead. I know Kudjo gonna say that way before this message even played, but the priesthood is dead. Ain't no more secrets. I'm tired of people even thinking there is no more secrets. I'm over here fighting elders that I shouldn't even be fighting and saying things I shouldn't even be saying. Priesthood is dead. If you ain't studying, not to sound aggressive, then you ain't gonna learn nothing. If you ain't trying to listen to an elder who really did do some studying and he got the right way of what Noble Drew Ali went through, I say go through the flames. Go through the flames. Make it as hard on yourself as it is. Because when you come out, you're going to be a pristine diamond.
Straight up.
Yeah, but the key word in knowledge is to know. So clearly you either know that black doesn't mean dark, or you know that black means dark and you just want to run with that, but continue to push that narrative like the same people that these so-called black people got a problem with, which is what they call white people. So, yeah, if you know black doesn't mean dark, and you know the root etymology of where black comes from, and that the correct concept to see black is bleach, black, bleak, blake. which means pale. So, you can't be dark pale. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, now they're really.
I just assume people just, wouldn't refer to themselves as colors. You can't be a color. You're human, right? I don't know. Peace, man.
Now that one threw them way off now into the deep end now. Now they don't even know if they're upside down or right side up right now.
Brother, I actually respect your skepticism. I respect your mind, respect your life. And I encourage you to keep digging, brother. Keep growing.
Lucky you have people like Dr. B.
And I understand
talk to you kindly and softly and all that.
Because for the last 200 years of reconstructed history, that's all you've known. You're not older than 200 years old, nor have you tapped into your ancestral DNA connections from within. As far as I can tell, maybe you have. But I assure you, brother, that every time you say black power, you're saying pale power.
Giving them all your energy.
Just vibrate on that, family. Much love to you, brother. Let's grow.
Cherokees, indigenous, are not Indians. Indians, in the word from etymology, originated from Christopher Columbus, as he expressed this word in his own mind as indigenous, but he originated this word as Indian. So we cannot classify ourselves as Indians based off of the mindset of Christopher Columbus. Before Christopher Columbus made a decision to name indigenous people Indians, what was our name anciently? Exactly. And this is what we gravitate from. So no, my brother, with all due respect, we are not Indians, Cherokees. Indigenous is not Indians. And I do have to stand correct with the Washita. I did say Wichita. It's not Wichita. It's Washita Empire. And so, yeah, feel free to Google that and get more information about the Washita Empire or the Washita Mountains. Even in New Jersey, you have. It's amazing when you start searching out things.
Man, no disrespect, bro. He don't really care about none of this conversation and saying X, Y, Z, that. Kudjo, you proving that by just saying, why are you still here and the brother's still here wanting to prove a point. He really want to get on here so he can poke holes. And I respect that because he want to poke holes. I just don't respect the fact that people want to come on a platform with Moors trying to educate other Moors who want to learn about this. The people who don't want to learn about this, I'll be so confused why you guys come around. Yep. And it's to be respectful to you guys because I am respectful, but it's going to come a time where Shimitar is going to come out, and it ain't going to be no respect for all that shit. It's going to be straight war. Because if this was war right now, you would not be asking, well, who's the Moor and my Moor? You going to know exactly who Moor is attacking, and you going to want to not be on that opposite end of who is getting attacked.
Exactly.
No, Icon. Yo, Icon, he said he's not a Moor, bro. So we don't know what that is. You must see one of them people that out of, what you call the show, The Walking Dead. You must see one of them, because you don't know, say, in Malik that they keep calling Malcolm X told everybody, Negro, Necro, all mean dead.
Yeah.
Scientifically dead. Black. Negro, Necro mean black. Black, dead. Pale. All things that dead look pale. So, maybe he ain't no more. Maybe he's a dead. Oh yeah. Yo. And the Egyptian word for pyramid is more.
Yep.
With one of the vowels, A-E-I-O-U. Yep. M-E-R. Just like those three letters that are in America. Morica. Yeah. The obvious ain't obvious
For the unobvious.
you know, dead people. Obviously, I guess. Nah, fuck that study more. We cursing. We cursing out all that black shit. Yeah. But check this though. Like you said, innit? If all those people that want to be on some slave shit, get back on the slave boat and go back to Europe, man. Which was a Berber empress who was Moorish. She was a Moorist. You know what I'm saying? That's our shit too, right? Nigganity is a religion too, and I guess. Peace, Moors.
Brother Kudjo, can you let me on the platform? I'm trying to get on the platform. Peace to you, brother. I'm trying to get on the platform.
Well, yeah, we get you out there. Hold on. I didn't even see that shit. Peace.
Yeah, peace, bro.
Yeah, my bad, yo. I was on the screen with the thing, with the messages. I didn't even see that.
See. Bro, okay, I just want to bring this to listen, because I know you got other people listening, alright?
Yeah.
Let me say this to everyone. Yesterday, I brought you on my show for the first time on the Galaxy Radio, right? Now, this station is in the UK. It's called the Only D-Brain Washing Station. So it's very African-centered. They are the leading station, I would say, in the UK. Come to our people, and they are fighting for our cause. I've been playing Brother Kudjo's recording from stereo on that station for the last 2 months, I would say. So I brought him on yesterday, and you know, everybody started getting to their feelings. And one of the reasons why I brought Brother Kudjo on the station, yeah, was to see how we can get our people understand that they need to nationalize. And Brother Kudjo, the reason why I come on this platform again, because I realized every time we as the Moors go anywhere to bring information to save our people, they're asking us who we are. And for me, I'm listening to you and I'm listening to a lot of our brothers doing the same thing. I think we need to come to a time, a platform, and set some topic that who wants to get nationalized. Because I think we spend so much time trying to teach these people, and no matter what you give them the information, you're giving them factual information. I'm listening to everything that you're saying. All the brothers are shining in, all the sisters are shining in. But it's like, I don't know if they're part of the problem where they're trying to keep our people in slavery, why they can't see the obvious. It's so obvious, even my little son, my little baby 4-year son can see what we're saying here.
Yeah.
So the people that want to move on and become Moors and they want to nationalize and get on with it, I think we should start giving a platform for those people. And who don't know who the Moors are, since when you're asking the Moors and they're telling you who they are, you still don't believe them, then you need to go and do that study yourselves. You know, so I really want to put on a platform for you to see how much we are working hard to save our people. But we only can save who want to be saved, and I think we need to come to that conclusion right now in terms of going forward these platforms.
Yeah. You know? But that's why, for example, it's always sort of an open thing, because even the people who want to be conscious, they're coming in on degrees where they're gonna learn something, even with yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the appearance was that it was some crazy yelling whatever, but the reality is those who were on the frequency to learn something, they got what they were supposed to get.
Yeah.
This is how you get into the thing where you have traders now who are telling people 500 for a class. And then people are going with it thinking that the things that they're seeing out here, like what we're doing, is not really class. There's some streaming, some whatever. If we're giving you books and all that stuff, that's class. That's for you to go study. That's homework. If you go on a Morris platform and they give you 10 books, you probably shouldn't be on a platform for another 2 weeks or something.
That's right.
Because you should be off referencing the references that you were given on the stream or the live or the whatever.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So
I want to rise up my sister research, beautiful Empress. I mean, instigate me and reading.
she gave me so much knowledge, and it just stuck with me. And when I get in the conversation when she talk about the Cherokees,
Yeah.
you know, she even break it down where she went to sign up her ID. I don't know if she want to give information. The chief was telling her to write in all caps. And she's questioning him and saying, but why am I writing this and I'm doing it in all caps?
That's
and
crazy.
he's saying to her, like, question. So, no, most of the problem we have with our people is the leaders that are working with the system to keep us down.
Yeah.
So when we are trying to give our people information, they try to make us look like we're crazy people, we're mad people. You know, and when you bring that into perspective, especially with the Cherokees and Indians and those are on a reservation here, how can the chiefs be having so much money and making so much life, but the normal people them that subscribe or try to be part of it are not getting the same values as the chief?
Right.
You know, and then you start looking to that questions like, it's like, whoa, but brother, I hear what you're saying, but I said, yeah, I'm trying to rise up people, but I reach a point right now where I think I want to keep some platform for people who actually want to change, and for people who's trying to search for knowledge. If you need
that's what I was saying. That's why, that's how you get the trader stuff that you guys were dealing with, where they set up these platforms and you pay for a class.
Yes.
Right? But that's not even where it's at. Because now you're going to have all these wayward elements who want to know that they probably only want to know for 2 weeks.
And they become teachers.
You know what I mean? Right? And now they're the master or whatever, and they're telling some other people over here some stuff that doesn't even match up with what it really is. So the real wanting to know and finding the right mores to whatever is you going and doing the research for yourself. Trust no one. Don't even trust me. Fact check everything that we tell you on here. Don't think, oh, yeah, that's Kudjo, so we're gonna listen to what he's saying. Oh no. Don't believe me either. Prove me wrong. And then if you went and you proved me wrong, and I said something wrong, bring that stuff so I can correct myself.
Islam.
Because nobody's not.
Brother Kudjo.
Peace, mother. How you doing?
So I just want to...
Peace, man. Peace and love to you, man. You want to bring some of your feminine energy to the platform? Go ahead, Empress. Give thanks.
I 100% agree. I was just on my show with Brother Virtue, and obviously we were speaking about the original woman, and just that, done are the days of watering ourselves down. Of course, if you want to do that, you can, but it's depleting and it's not helping anyone right now. You know, those who it's for are going to hear, they're never going to miss it. Do you know what I mean? And these platforms are so great that they're there, they're up. Anyone can search it up. Do you know what I mean? They're there. And so all the books that you've ever mentioned on one of these shows, people can just flip through your shows and see them.
Yeah.
You know, now is not the time to be, because we're depleting ourselves. We need each other. We need each other because we're at a platform where we can actually bring what we know, our knowledge, our wisdom into the physical. Like we got, you know, it's not really a numbers thing, because numbers can be deceiving. But if there's numbers of people who are, you know, on their ascension to godhood, then yes, that's amazing. And I see that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
There are those of us. It's from when you've got more than one, there's more than enough. Do you get what I mean? There's more than enough.
Yeah.
So you know, I've been away for a while, but you know, we need to just have straight up convos. No watering shit down. I'm sorry. Filter out the people who, you know,
aren't ready.
Filter out the people who it's not for. And on top of that, you know, what I was saying on my last show is that sometimes things go over my head. I'm not a know-it-all, although I might seem like it. I do know it all, but I don't know it all. Anyway, some stuff goes over my head, and what makes me a know-it-all is because I want to know it all. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
And I'll admit that I don't know it all, but you know, so basically I learn. I can listen to someone, it will go over my head, but I'll make sure that whatever went over my head, I'm seeing it through. I see through it now, to get me, because I'm interested, I'm invested in it, I want to grow. This is my focus. So it's what people's focuses are. Some people, it's easy. We was talking about the claim to godhood, and you know, our people, you know, they're scared. You know, and we was just speaking about that fear comes the fear of the unknown. And yeah, you know, it is scary because I was just saying it myself, you know, but we are so powerful, you know, but it's like the weight of the world. We've already been reincarnated into these dark, beautiful bodies, yeah, and there's already such a weight on top of us from when we're young that we have to learn about. It seems all unfair and all these things, but it's only unfair if you're going to claim to be the human and you're going to claim to just be the flesh. If you're claiming that you're spiritual and you've got breath in you and that you're everlasting and that, you know, your spirit transcends time and space, then you are not just a human and you do have responsibilities to adhere to. Do you get what I mean? We're all here. We're all supposed to be in honor of divine law. Do you get me? Our abundance comes, you know, our abundance in this life. Abundance comes in alignment with your commitment to divine law. Yeah, and so it may seem like other people are winning. It may seem like other types of nations, if you will, types of races are winning and stuff, but they're not being honorable either because they know who we are. So it might seem like they're winning, but I assure you they're not. Their lives inside is crumpled. We don't see what's behind them. Our people are so busy just watching everybody else. They're so far outside of themselves. Like our simplicities, just the normal things we do, the natural things, combing the hair, parting up your baby's hair, that's all science, that's all mathematics, that's all really superior kind of mastermind kind of thinking. That you're just able to create the pattern like that outside your head, make it look good, everything. Weaving in the little plaits and little pieces, strands of hair so it looks actually neat. Nappy hair, like looking neat and shiny. That's a beautiful art form. Do you get what I mean? Our people like need to really slow down. These are what these retrogrades are for, to slow down. I'm sorry, I've just come in. I don't know who Prophet Kwaku is or whatnot. I'm sorry, but I just came in. It's beautiful to hear you speaking like that. Yeah, don't water it down if I ramble off. I could have gone on, but yeah.
I see. We'll just play these bubbles before they get out of hand. People like to cuss people out for not playing their bubbles and whatever.
Yeah, I believe something's wrong there. That's damn right. You're right. You know, that is definitely on point. But it goes hand in hand with the same mentality of the people that are getting killed on the street, which ain't just blacks. But they are the color of choice to be discriminated against.
Why?
Here in the United States.
Why? Why are they the color of choice?
But on the same token, what are the colored people? You don't see them. I mean, yeah, you got the BML or whatever. You know, I'm not really for what I flip on the tune and see. And correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you come together better, more organized, and off the chain and ready to. See, I'm brown, but do I let the thing with Mexico and all these from Mexico and Mexicans are treated a certain way because they're all illegal immigrants? No, I better myself. My family's bettered themselves. Because they moved around that obstacle. It takes brains, bro. It takes brains. And just like you were saying earlier, what is it? No opinion, no feelings. I forget the other one. No emotions. Right? Biting the bullet. Or am I wrong? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Paul, that you're coming here with national standards. If we say, who are you? Guaranteed, if you're brown, you're not going to say, I'm white, and you're not going to say, you're black as who you are. You're going to say some type of country with a flag, with a culture. They have a national fruit. They have a national bird. They have a national whatever flower. They dress a certain way. They might speak a certain way. They have a certain food that's theirs, that only belongs to them. Nobody can duplicate it and say that's theirs. How come the blacks and the Negroes and the African slaves don't have that? Being more is that. And that's what we're trying to bring back to them. That just like everybody else, we have a nationality and a culture and a history and all that stuff too. We're not just some nigger slaves. That today, because we have no chains on, we think we're not slaves anymore. When we're the biggest slaves now than we were back then. Back then, at least we still knew how to farm as a slave. At least you still knew how to go plant something in the ground. You give these people a seed today, and they don't even know what the hell they have in their hand.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
You know, it's the word Stockholm syndrome, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, I look at our people right now. I'm not being, because whatever people want to think about me, I'm more talking about people, but the fact is, yeah, there's no so-called organization, religious sector, whatever you want to call it, that actually say, everybody, whether you subscribe to us, you are a Moor. The Nation of Islam doesn't say that, the Jews doesn't say that, the Christian doesn't say that, all of these sectors don't say that. We are welcoming everybody. If you still want to be a Christian Moor, you can be a Christian Moor. And our people not even taking the time to see how beautiful this is in its sense, because everybody else, you have to join to them and you have to stop doing certain things to be a part of it.
Yeah.
We as the Moor are saying, just
be yourself.
Clear yourself, make your proclamation, and go back to be Rasta and smoke weed if you want to go back to be Rasta and smoke weed. What is it so hard for people to keep on arguing like we're putting them into some cult where they're going to be subjected to some type of rules that is going to make them out of the way they are. Our people are really, the Stockholm syndrome is really deeper than our people, Kudjo.
Yeah.
You know, I
think it's the way.
Ken Dunn, yeah, for one, he booked a show for me last week, and I don't know if he's on the platform again. He put up a show called Black American versus Moor. And this brother came into a lot of my shows, yeah? And he said to me once, open the Moors. And he couldn't put up a show to say Black Americans, if you want to say that, and the Moors. He put verses.
Yeah.
It's like our people always want to be warring within themselves. Then, you know, and it kind of like, it's so sickening. It's really Stockholm syndrome, brother. Because
that's
the more if you really say about the Moors, you can understand how open the Moors. We're not judgmental to what you want to do. It can't even be a fucking gay Moor. It can be a lesbian Moor if you want to be a lesbian Moor.
That's what it is.
That's
I mean,
what we gonna do?
What we gonna do? You know.
I think it's because people are looking at us as if we are like the nation of, as if we are just a set. They're looking at us as if we're some crew. Do you know what I mean? That we're recruiting, and they're not realizing that.
Sorry to cut the Empress, it was a good point, and this is the biggest point. When you see, when we say Islam, this has got nothing to do with the so-called MUS, Muslim. Again, when you say Islam, it's got nothing to do with the so-called Muslim, Muslim. We're a Muslim. And if people really understand the fact, you know, the brother you was talking about on the platform earlier, every research you look on the internet is going to see the Moors with Muslim.
Yeah.
You need to go and look at how we spell our Muslim, because we say Mus. It's a different MOS. All right, those people you're talking about is MUS, and they will put the Moors with them to try to give the narrative that they want to paint. But if you take the time, you can see it's two separate sets of people. We're separate from them. It's not no religion sect. It's not nothing to do with the religion. It's a way of life and who you are. That's all it is. So I'll bring that in peace. Go on, Mom. You wasn't making a point. Sorry to cut you there. Peace and love to you.
No, not at all. Valid point. And what they will say is, it's more to steal the birthright rather than to change for the narrative about us. It's more so they can, what do they say? Hang on to the coattails, whatever, of our ancestors or what our legacy is. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember the point that I was making, but that was beautiful what you said, and I agree.
You got these bubbles.
Yo, that was a good one. Yo, you can never be dark pale. I don't know where that came from. I've never heard it, but why not never hear that shit?
How's black pale? You ever gone
gone outside in the middle of the night and it looks pale? Or have you gone outside in the daytime and it looks bright? See, you look at something black, are you seeing it in white? Or are you looking at something white and seeing it in all colors?
Oh, this is gonna trip people up. I just want to say this for the one time, for the Moors. White power.
White power. White power, boy. White power.
Oh, yes. Status. White power, yes.
White power.
Well, black also means bright, brilliant, light, luminous. So we have to keep learning and researching and sharing with one another. Grand afternoon. Personally, I think we just get away from all these prophets who are dead with their ways of thinking, which are old, and just focus on finding out these truths about these treaties that have been subjecting us to these treatments by these said rulers of this land, thieves of this land. Just the religious thing needs to go. You know, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that slave hold.
Yep, and we don't do a religion, we do a nationality. Just like the Moor said, if you hear Islam, if you hear Allah, if you hear Muslim, if you hear pray, if you hear the holy book, we're not talking about religion. This is nationality. And don't compare us to the other people who you hear say God and Christian and whatever else and think that we're the same. We're not the same.
And I just wanted to say that the word dark translates to brightness, not the word black doesn't. The word black can translate to shiny because it was burnt, because it can mean burnt, but you know, it doesn't translate to bright or light. That's dark. Darkness can translate to light and brightness.
And can I add also, Empress, if you go and look at my avatar, look at my shows that every Saturday on this platform, I've got a project called The Color of Law. So you can say what you think black is. You need to go and look at the etymology. You need to go and look at the dictionary meaning. And you also need to go and look at the lawful, legal meaning of black. And that's the reason why. So we can say what we want to say, but the world that we're living in doesn't have anything good about black. And the more we get that overstanding, because we're wasting too much of our time talking about black. And look in the mirror, you're not black for glass. That for people is so easy. Look in the mirror, look at yourself, you're not black. That's the most simplest part of. We don't need to go into some long-ass conversation and doing some scientific research. Look in the mirror and the mirror will give you an answer. Yep. Simple as that. Peace and love.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Indian means indigo, which is the darkest color on the spectrum, which is dark. We people of dark blue. Fuck Christopher Columbus. We all know he's full of shit and lies. We have indigo children. I have two. We are a product of the brightest light. From darkness comes light. So, we're going to get together. We're going to get it together, my people. We're putting our puzzle pieces together, and that's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. And keep sharing and professing our love to one another.
Sounds like Empress is already actualizing, you know, it's like she's already a Moor, but she doesn't know she's a Moor. Like, I mean, in terms of where her mindset is at. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all. It's just the wordplay. You know? And there's so many of that's who, you know, that's who we should reach, and that's who doesn't need us to water it down. Do you get what I mean? Those are the ones that don't need us to water it down like that.
Right.
Once we just continue to talk and speak, they will just jump on because they're going to wonder why we're using these words repetitively.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I to the brother, study more. Brothers, trust me when I tell you, the scimitar stays sharp. It stays sharp. That's all I'm gonna say. And a lot of these families definitely need to take heed in overstanding that the olive branch is being extended. But when it gets pulled back, it's the end of that.
Got problems
No matter
after
what
that.
you look like, what you sound like, victory is sure. Much love to y'all. Family definitely outgrow screaming pale power. Self-hatred, family. Let's grow.
Man, don't start bringing up that. Don't start bringing up the three letters in America. Don't, because every dude, every female who feel like they black is something else and they ain't Moors, they gonna hate the fact that this ain't really America. America's really a corporation and a business, and the real name of this continent is Almara.
Greetings. Icon Bay, my bro. Yes, you know what? You were another one that I expressed in very detailedly. Yeah, we were doing a show together and I was explaining my experience